So I was always a socially awkward kid as I was growing up. I was that friend in the friend group that would barely ever say a word. I'd only speak when spoken to, basically. I would be so nervous when I was talking to girls. I would literally be shaking. I would be the kid that would be anxious about going back to school after like a holiday because I haven't seen people in so long. Maybe you changed, maybe you have a new haircut and you're worried about what your friends are going to say about it. I would be anxious when I had to see my friends after a while. Like if I didn't see them in a couple of months, I would be anxious about that. Why? I don't even know. In school, I would do orals in like a class of 10 people, our English class. And keep in mind that I knew everybody in that class. I was friends with everybody in that class. I was comfortable talking to the teacher. But talking in front of 10 people made me shake and it made my cheek twitch as I was speaking. Like I could literally feel it doing this. I would almost never speak in groups because I wouldn't want the center of attention to be myself. So I would always just observe what other people are saying and I would tell them that I always first see what everybody's personalities are like before I start to speak to them and all of that. But it was just a way of coping with it. Girls and even guys sometimes would always come up to me and ask me, why am I so quiet? And I thought it was a good thing because I was being that mysterious Sigma male archetype, but I honestly wasn't. I wasn't that likable of a person, really. Like, I don't think people dislike me, but I was just in between. And fast forward today, and I feel like a completely different person. I can confidently talk to anyone, even if it's a girl. I started cold approaching girls recently, and if you are a shy person, or if you're anything like what I was like before, this is terrifying. And before, like a couple of months ago, I would go up to a girl and I would be shaking and really nervous, and you could tell in your voice that trembling vocal tone. But now it's just normal. I don't really feel that nervous anymore. Like, of course, I do get nervous beforehand, but when I'm actually talking to them, it's not that bad anymore. I can talk to people in my community now, which I never did before. I can create a conversation with them and make small talk. I'm the guy that goes up to people and fist bumps them when I greet them. I was never that guy before. I was always the guy that was receiving the handshake or the fist bump. When it's like that awkward situation when your friend has another friend that you don't know, and you don't know whether or not you should greet them, like give them a handshake or a fist bump, and they just look at you awkwardly for a while and see if you're gonna do it, and then they do it, and you just do this weird thing, or you do that awkward handshake where you don't know what to do. I'm the guy that's inviting people to go do things with me, to go on walks with me in the forest, to go explore new places and things. I feel like a completely different person. Talking to people is one of my favorite things to do now, and it was never before. I hated people when I was younger because the thing is, you don't enjoy talking to people when you're not good at it. But once you actually become good at it and people feel good around you, once you become the person that makes other people feel good around you, you always want to be in that situation. And there are four major things that I did that contributed towards this newfound confidence and skill. And the first one is reading a book, or two books actually. The first one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, this is a classic. Everybody speaks about this if you're into self improvement, and there's a reason why. He teaches you the basic but very effective things that you should do when it comes to speaking to people. So, saying people's names when you greet them, or just in the middle of a conversation, just saying their names, it makes them feel good. Giving people compliments. Like, why don't you give people compliments, man? I went almost my whole life without ever really giving people compliments. And now I do it all the time whenever I can think of one because it makes them feel good and it makes them like you more. So why not? And I know why. It's probably because you feel uncomfortable doing it or you feel like it's kind of cringe, but it's just something that you have to get over. Just do it, even if you do feel uncomfortable doing it, because you'll be more likable. And then other things like just smiling at people, being a good listener, getting them to talk about things that they enjoy talking about. And then The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox Cabane, something like that. And she basically just goes over like these four different charisma types and the fact that charisma is a skill and all that. And it's a really good book. It taught me a lot, but it's not really things that I use that much. She teaches you other things like how to be in a charismatic state, like how to get yourself into a charismatic state. And it is something that I do, like in the morning when I know I'm about to talk to people throughout the day. I always listen to some like feel good music, to get yourself in a good mood for the day, and that carries over to your other conversations. So things like that. The second thing is to become more attractive. I'm not really saying that I'm attractive, but I am more attractive than I was a few years ago, or even a year ago, to be honest. So the easiest ways to do this is to work out, even though this does take a while, but the return on investment is amazing. Growing out your hair, it doesn't need to be like really long or anything. You don't need to have a man bun, but most of the time, people look better with longer hair unless you have like a really good facial structure, like a good jawline and hollow cheeks and high cheekbones and all that, then you should probably stick to short hair. But for most of you, having longer hair will make a huge difference in your appearance. Like your hair can make up for your face that's lacking. In my case, for example, So I have like this really long hair that kind of covers some of my face. So whenever people meet me, my hair is one of the first things that they see because not a lot of people look like this where I'm from, and they always give me a compliment to my hair. But growing out your hair, getting a haircut, and developing some kind of skincare routine. Once you become more attractive and you think you are more attractive, you become more confident. And once you become more confident, it carries over to your social life because people can tell the difference in how you carry yourself. For example, we know and we learn that we're not supposed to put girls on pedestals, but most of the time we automatically do that because they are more attractive than us most of the time, and we feel like they have a higher value than we do. But nowadays, that's not the case for me anymore because now most of the time, even if a girl is really attractive, I see our interaction as giving her a chance to get to know me and become my friend, or whatever else, whatever else you want to call it. Because I work out. Because I work out. I have a pretty good body now. I've been taking care of my skin. I have good hair. I feel like I have a good personality, a likable personality. So it's a chance for them to get to know me and to impress me in a way. The third thing isn't necessary in the beginning, but it's to watch some YouTube videos like Charisma on Command and just see like the best of the best interact with people. Because once you get a look at so many different charisma types and all that, you start to identify a certain type of charisma that resonates the best with you. So, for example, I'm more of a quiet type, so I'm not going to be like Will Smith, for example. I'm going to be more like Tom Holland or Keanu Reeves. If you watch Charisma on Command, you know what I'm talking about. But you see like different types of humor and stuff that you think will work the best with you. And that's a really important thing to keep in mind. You don't need to be like other people. You should just do what feels the most natural for you because that's what's going to make you more charismatic. And the fourth one is just to have a different mindset about this. If you're watching this video, you're probably a quiet, shy type like I was, like I still am to a certain extent. Like deep down inside, that is my personality type. And because of this, you probably thought that that's what you're going to be like for the rest of your life. You're going to be the quiet guy, doesn't really say much, that people kind of like, but also don't really love. But the thing is, social skills is a skill. It's literally in the word, but we never think of it like this. I think most people think about it as something that you're born with, so you either have it or you don't. And this couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm a living example of this. So if you work on your social skills, you can become the type of person that goes up to people and gives them a fist bump, to greet them, or gives them a handshake, because you've probably never done that before. You can be the guy that invites other people to go do something with you, to go on a hike, to go explore some part of the forest, or to go out with your friends to host a party. Why can't you be that guy? What's actually stopping you besides your limiting beliefs? Okay, there's actually a fifth one now that I think of it, is just try and progressively overload this. So, like in weightlifting or working out, you have to do progressive overload to get stronger over time. Do the same with your social skills, like practicing your social skills. So, for example, if you're like terrible at this and you have like really bad social anxiety, then just start off with saying hello to someone, audibly saying hello. Don't just nod at them like you usually would walking on the street. Just say hello. And then once you've done that for a few days, start to wave at them and say hello. And then once you do that, start to smile at them. And as you go on, you keep building it up. Then after that, you say, "How are you doing?" Or you say hello with their name. So, like, "Hello, Mark." And you keep going on up until, and you keep going, and you keep doing this over time. And eventually it starts to compound, and you become a completely different person than you are now. And it's taken me to get to a couple of months to get to this point where I feel like I'm quite confident and charismatic around different people. So, yeah, if you do these 5 things over enough time, like give yourself about 6 months for you to see significant results, you'll come back to this video and thank me. So right now, what I want you to do is go off YouTube, because I know you are going to watch another self-improvement video now, or Mr. Beast or something, and go outside, go for a walk or something, and go say hello to someone on the street. Go say hello to a bunch of people on the street and try and make conversation with them if you are at that level. But if not, then just smile at them or something. Just do more than you would usually do. That's your task for today, basically. So if you found this video useful, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos for me. And that's it for today.